going on? This is Eamon, straight out of Staten Island, New York City.
He's the writer and singer of a song that no one thought would ever be heard on the air because of its vulgar lyrics. However, the song not only got tremendous play on the radio, but it went all the way to #1 in numerous countries around the world. Record labels would unfortunately do him dirty, and his personal demons would cause a decade-long absence, leaving fans wondering if he would ever make a comeback. Let's find out whatever happened to R&B singer Eamon. Eamon, born Eamon Jonathan Doyle, came into the world on September 19, 1983, in Staten Island, New York, to an Irish father and an Italian mother. He definitely gets his musical gifts from his father, who was once a member of a doo-wop singing group. Eamon began touring and performing with them at the age of 9, after impressing them with his version of a Frankie Lyman song. By 15, he had landed a job working in a music studio where he caught the attention of the CEO, who then hooked him up with rapper, songwriter, producer Milk D. Together, they helped to fine-tune his sound. He ended up creating his own genre he dubbed ho-wop.
Ho-wop. That's my own genre of music, which is a flavor of hip-hop, a flavor of doo-wop, and hoes. So that's my music. I'm the king of ho-wop. I'm the creator.
The process to get him signed was a long and arduous one. The song that would be his debut single was not well received by those who heard it. In fact, people pretty much guaranteed him that because of the lyrics, it would never get played on the radio. After reaching out to nearly 24 different record companies, he finally secured a deal with Jive Records. In late 2003, his profanity-laced debut single called It, I Don't Want You Back immediately blew up all over urban and pop radio. He hurried to put the music video together while the song rose to number 16 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart and number 1 in over a dozen countries. The success of the single also greatly helped the debut album, titled I Don't Want You Back, skyrocket to number 7 on the Billboard 200 and number 3 on the top R&B hip-hop albums chart. Then, something bizarre happened. In the same vein as Sporty Thieves did with their response track, No Pigeons, to TLC's No Scrubs, a then unknown female singer named Frankie released a track titled F-U-R-B, You Right Back. The song got a considerable amount of airplay and went to number 1 in a couple countries, after New York radio station Z100 received a copy anonymously and began playing it almost as much as Eamon's version. Initially, she also claimed to be his ex-girlfriend, which he denied, and that other diss tracks about him would be appearing on her upcoming album. Eamon denied knowing who she was at all, threatened legal action, as well as to write a career-ending diss track of his own about her if she didn't stop. However, almost immediately after the track dropped and Eamon's denial about even knowing who Frankie was, he backtracked and admitted that she was actually hand-picked to record the song. He also gave permission for licensing and for it to be released to radio. He now laughs at all the controversy and takes it all in stride, saying in a March 2004 interview with MTV.com, "I never knew she was going to say she was my ex-girlfriend. It's the funniest thing because even my aunt called me and said, 'Is this really your ex-girlfriend?' It's all good though. Every time it gets played, I get paid." His follow-up single, I Love Them Hoes, Ho-Wop, did not do well at all. Even the remix with fellow Staten Islander Ghostface Killah from Wu-Tang Clan didn't help. Eamon's second studio album, titled Love and Pain, was released 2 years after his debut. Both the album and the first and only single off of it failed to chart. In a 2017 interview with LAweekly.com, Eamon spoke about why that project never stood a chance to succeed, saying, There was a lot of back and forth between the production company I was signed to and the record label, different directions they thought I should go with my sound. And for me, personally, there was a lot of addiction situations. At this point, the writing was on the wall, and he left Jive Records. However, it wasn't without stipulations. He couldn't sign another deal during the next 18 months after their contract ended. Eamon used this time to step away from the spotlight and finally face his drug addiction head-on. 2 years later, he moved to Los Angeles to get a fresh start. Eventually, he signed with independent record label SMC Entertainment and started working with a Grammy-winning producer on his next project. Everything looked good on the surface, but behind the scenes, there was some major drama going on. SMC immediately became delinquent on paying musicians, studio fees, and advances. Eamon and his team chose to forge ahead and continue working in spite of it all. Soon, legal action was taken and the company's financial backer was imprisoned. Eamon completed his album, but still being under contract meant that he couldn't release any material or perform for money. He ultimately settled and was released from his contract with SMC in 2014, becoming a free agent. Unfortunately, most of the work done for his album would be shelved. During the period where he was dealing with the SMC drama, as well as in the several years to follow, he was featured on numerous tracks by other artists. After many years of professional and personal struggles, 2017 would mark Eamon's comeback with the release of his third studio album and first in over a decade, titled Golden Rail Motel. The lead single, called Be My Girl, co-written by him, is the love song he said he always wanted to write. The fact that it finally came out of him at this time, he felt had a lot to do with being newly married. He and his wife sealed the deal in May 2016 and welcomed a daughter 3 years later. He ended off 2019 with the release of his last effort to date, an EP titled Captive Thoughts, on all streaming platforms. The 7-song album leaves listeners wanting more, as it smoothly fuses sounds of 60s R&B and doo-wop with late 90s, early 2000s hip-hop and R&B beats. 2020 slowed down a lot of people, but not Eamon. He captioned his August 16th Instagram post, "New Music Update," announcing the near completion of a new album with release date to follow, and thanking everyone for their support along the journey. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and comment. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you won't miss any future videos. See you next time!